ain't some rhinestone bit, and this ain't some circus show. Yeah, son, this is pure cowboy shit. Ain't your daddy's rodeo. No, it ain't his rodeo.
This is episode 190 of Cowboy Shit. My name is Ted Stoven. He is Dustin Edwards, and we have a few things to talk about this week, Dustin, and a little bit of a format change that we're going to plan with the show here moving forward.
Yeah. Maybe kind of taking a different turn with how people will absorb or hear the podcast and how we've kind of worked through it over the last couple of years in duration. So I think just kind of making some adjustments as we go, but all in all, for good reason. So.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're only going to do a top of the show, or else we're just going to go right to the interview, depending on what's going on. We felt like we needed to do a quick top of this show for everybody this week to kind of explain what we're doing. Dustin and I are going to continue to do the show when we can together, but the top of the show ended up being a bit of a pain in the butt, especially in the summertime when we're busy trying to record the extra piece that, for those listening right now that like this top of the show, we're sorry, but if you want us to keep doing this, give us some more feedback later on, whatnot. But anyways, we just wanted to kind of condense a few things and make things a little easier. Dustin's going to join when he can, like we said. We're actually recording a show Wednesday night in Calgary with one of our guests. And then we had like a really cool email come through today too. So that's kind of helped motivate me a bit more. But honestly, I guess what I'll say is that it's been a difficult last essentially 7 months, but the hardest part of it being probably the last month and a bit, Dustin, to be honest, since Dad passed. But I still want to keep doing this show, and I appreciate everybody that listens. So that's where we're at. But we're just gonna kind of condense a few things, and we're gonna still do the interviews. And yeah, did I cover it all, Dustin?
I think so. I think it's it's one of those things where there's still some great interviews to be had out there, and get
Absolutely.
right to them. And this enables a guy to record some, and we don't have to be as topical on the front and bottom with where we're at in that week and time. So I think there's going to be still some great content. Me and Ted talked about, getting more involved in maybe some cool events or different things we're at still with the brand and the show and having some fun with it. So looking forward to see where we go with it. And the brand's going to keep rocking and Ted's going to keep rolling, and I'll try and be in the passenger seat at times when I can be. So,
well, and like you said on the social media side of things, so we're gonna move more of the topical and kind of what would I say, Dustin, the more event-based side of the podcast to the social media side of things.
yeah,
Talk about those sort of things more on the social channels. So make sure to follow us on the social channels. There'll still be a few things we need to talk about on the top of the show once in a while, but it might be something that I can handle by myself. So there's a little bit less scheduling that we have to worry about. Dustin, thanks for making this work tonight so we can kind of explain to the people what the plan is. But yeah, I think that kind of covers it, doesn't it?
yeah. I think it's all good, and it's been a hell of a fun run, and the show continues. Some big milestones still to come, and some cool guests still to come. So lots to look forward to. Just you'll just absorb it a little differently when you click it on.
Exactly. Yeah, and I've also reached out to our friend James Foley. He might join in once in a while as well. He's been a guest of the show, and what would I say, like a part-time co-host at times.
Yeah. So another familiar voice can jump in. You got to think of it like when like a famous talk show host or duo, like when it used to be like Regis and Kathy, and one of them like finally peters out or goes away. They just bring in like some really cool guest hosts. That's the opportunity here. There's so many cool people that are around the show and around us that can be part of it and get to meet some more personalities along the way and hear from a few more.
Exactly. So it's gonna be lots of fun. Dustin and I are still gonna catch up on the show here once in a while as well. But like we said, we're recording one tomorrow night, and we got some content planned for the rest of the winter here. Got some fun stuff coming up. I'm working with Brenda Vold right now, because she was like, you got to get this show done with Wayne. We've talked about it for a long time, but she's like, you got to get that show recorded with Wayne Vold. So I'm going to go down there here sometime. I'm thinking maybe when the weather comes around a little bit better so we can get some content at the ranch and do the show in person at Wayne's place. So I'm looking forward to that one. Dustin, we can tell our friends we're talking to your buddy Chris tomorrow as well at your place.
Yeah, Chris Cook, who's um, I guess a motivational speaker, farmer. He's farming advocate. Really cool guy. I'm really looking forward to sitting down with him. He's a beauty. We've spent some time together in the hockey world and in the sports world. So yeah, really looking forward to that. He's a heck of a good guy. So
well, and then we've got I'm looking forward to that one too tomorrow. But like I said, Wayne, and then there's still the list, Dustin. Like I've told you, like I know you're kind of almost halfway family with Carey Price now, so I'm hoping we can get Carey out of the woodwork, get him on the show. I think that's a good fit. I mean, if Ron McLean can be on the show, then I'm sure Carey could. I hope that Carey could make the time to have a visit with us.
I think we might have to cross our fingers and drop a line.
Maybe.
Yeah,
We'll have to invite him roping and just trick him into it, possibly.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Hey, I
Go
wonder.
where there's roping. I think he's the new ambassador for Hockeyville. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like that. Well, anyways, we still got lots of good shows coming up, and we're still gonna tell you what kind of bullshit we've been up to the last few weeks. Either way, like I gotta say, well, actually, what we got on the go next? Bree and I went to Corb and Mel's wedding on the weekend. That was a ton of fun. You had 2 games, and then there was ski joring too. Our editor Sean was in Calgary at ski jor, so it was like a pretty action.
And they did it.
They what? Yeah, really
cold.
It was
cold as hell, but good job.
Really freaking cold. Yeah. So, and another show we got coming up too at some point is Morgan Clabber. We've been talking with Morgan for a long time. We're gonna get that dialed in at some point. Again, there's been lots of great guests over the past. So like, the show must go on, Dustin.
The show will go on. It will.
Yes.
And we got some good stuff when we were up at the CCMAs. That there's some interviews in there, and as we continue to keep journeying around with rodeo and sports and life, there's always some great guests that'll pop in. So,
well, and
I'd say the best guests could still be to come.
Absolutely. Plus, keep
on
your radar.
We're trying to get Gator a Gator update. Yeah,
we are going to get Gator back on because we got to tell the story about how you got hit in the testicle by a hockey puck and the realtor story. So the realtor story and the testicle story are on the way. Don't worry, folks. Those will be recorded at some point. You will hear about Dustin's ball sack on the show at some point.
And it has to happen. Yeah.
It has to happen. Okay. I got to tell people about Corb's wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Corb and Mel's wedding.
Which was at the iconic Ranchman's.
Yes. The Ranchman's Cookhouse and Dance Hall. But then you got to tell us about the Roughnecks Rodeo. And then we've got the Country Music Alberta Awards Sunday night, March 2nd at the Grave Casino. So like between now and the next show, there's a bunch of shit going on. It's February in Calgary. It's cold as balls. And there's tariff talks going on. We didn't even talk about the tariffs last time. But to our American friends, we don't want to tariff you.
We haven't been tariffed yet. We talked about it on the last show about tariffing cheesies, but we haven't had to put those in yet. We haven't had to retaliate.
The cheesy tariff of 2025.
Yeah. What else is topical? All these damn planes.
Oh gosh, yeah. This is one time where I'm glad I don't have any flights booked.
No
shit. We're calm about that. But okay, Corb's wedding though. We in the email, I could tell Mel was writing the email. I'm pretty sure because it says like we have shorts for the ladies that wore their dresses, so you can ride the bull. She's like, please ride the bull. Everybody needs to ride the mechanical bull at Corb's wedding. So it's like everybody's kind of like in the first part of the bar and they're kind of lingering around. And we had already had dinner, so it was like after dinner bull riding events. But I don't know if I should have done it earlier or what was going on. But a bunch of people started coming up. Not a bunch of people. Friends. John Smith and Laura, his wife Laura. Laura was the MC of the wedding. So she married Corbin Mel, and kind of crazy too. So one of their buddies is named Rio Tripiano. He stood up when they said, if anyone has anything to say before they get married, and like, it's one of those things where it's like,
oh shit,
yeah. But then he threw like a hand of like glitter out, like he had like glitter in his pocket or like confetti, like shiny confetti, and he's like, you have something to say about Las Vegas. and he's just throwing this glitter out. I'm like, what's going on here? And then I was like, oh, it's that, because they actually got married 2 years ago in Vegas during the NFR. So he's like, it was like Core put it up to me. He's like,
Oh,
hey, would you do this
gotcha.
for us so we can like
Yeah.
let everyone, hey, like actually we got married a while ago, but like thanks for being here. This is like our actual. It was kind of like you and Allie with your Phoenix wedding and your Stetler wedding, where everybody knew you already got married and we watched the video. But
Right.
but yeah, that was kind of like a moment. Corb luckily had the mic ready. He's like, hey guys, before you go and try and off Rio, here's what happened.
That's cool.
But anyways, we got the bull riding thing going on, and then John and Laura were like, "Oh, Ted, you gotta go announce this." And then Bree go to me into it, and everybody was like, "Ted, you gotta like go host the bull riding and stuff." And I was kind of thinking, I was like, I should go up and like get this thing going. I'm like, start the bull riding competition. So the Dakota at the Ranchman's got me hooked up with a microphone, and
Did
then
you
I
go full
started like,
Bobby T?
no, I didn't go full Bobby T. I only went like probably like 1/4 Bobby T. It was only like a little bit of Bobby T. But for some reason, I decided I needed to host the mechanical bull riding competition, and
Naturally.
so naturally, because it wasn't my first time hosting mechanical bull riding
That's I was
competition
gonna
at the
say you've done it
Ranchman's.
before. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like just normal gig. It's just a regular Sunday night at the Ranchman's
Yeah.
mechanical bull riding. So it was myself and then Dwayne Robinson, Wrangler rep for a long time, and great friend, part of the Tumbling Dice, part of the Vold Rodeo crew with the Buck and Bulls. Like, Dwayne's been around forever, right? And he's such a fun guy. His daughter Megan's working with him now as well. She and I share a birthday. She's we're 1 year difference, but we have the same birthday. But we've all been friends. Like, I grew up with this whole crew, right? So Dwayne
Yeah.
helps me out. He's Corb's cousin, so he's the color guy. I'm announcing this bull riding. We get John up on the bull. Bryn Roy's on the bull. Like, just like a random assortment. Like Corb's like Mel's sister, Corb's brother, I think. Like, just like a random, such a fun group. And then we're announcing this, and Corb comes over. He's like, "Man, this is a lot of fun. Thanks for doing this. I didn't, it was like it was funny, but wrap this up. We got the band starting. He had Hayes Carl was there, and so was Jada Dreyer. His drummers Brady and Lyle. Who else? Sean Burns. Like, the whole gang was all there, and they were all singing. There's a couple other guys too. I can't remember who everybody that was there. Then the band BCDC kicks things off
That's
on the
cool.
main stage, and like full on friggin' rock and roll. There's a guy in like an Evil Knievel jumpsuit doing like power kicks with his electric guitar across the stage. So
Looks badass.
it's a pretty epic wedding.
Who won the bull riding?
Who won the bull riding? I think it was I think it might have been Mel's brother. He definitely tore his shirt apart at the end. That was pretty awesome.
Got some
Pretty
extra
hilarious.
points there. Yeah.
Bonus points on
Shirt
that.
removal.
Yeah, like ripped it right apart. It was pretty funny.
Sweet.
But I forget what else happened. I don't think Bryn won. Bulldogger, not bull rider.
That's right.
Sorry, Bryn. Good effort though. There's been a lot of fun nights at that place.
Oh yeah, iconic. Glad it came back. It's crazy to think that. Remember when it was like the doors were
Almost
closed
gone
and
for a while. Yeah.
no one ever thought Ranchins was going to come back, but here we are.
Here we are. Yeah,
It survived the pandemic.
It was entertaining. But from one weekend to the next, Dustin, now we got the Roughnecks Rodeo.
Yeah.
Went from the Lund mechanical buck jump bull riding competition right to into the Roughnecks Rodeo. We got a lot of Western events here.
And there's going to be a mechanical bull riding there that you can win. There's the leaderboard.
Really?
Oh
yeah.
An
announcer?
Yeah, you might be the guy.
Or should I go enter myself?
I think you should enter yourself. And
yeah,
I think you should.
What can I win?
Well, the prize is TBD. I'll let you know. If we have to rig it a little bit, we will.
Will it be a setup if I win?
No one will know. You'll just go into there with a fake name and wear like
put my cowboy hat on backwards,
business suit and whatever else. Yeah, but we got actually it's gonna be a fun day. We got mechanical bull riding. This is on Saturday the 22nd.
Yeah, in Calgary.
Night, in Calgary at the Dome. It's gonna be a nice Saturday. We got mechanical bull riding. We got some roping with the Barney's crews bringing the roping dummies from Barney's, which me and Ted did a photo shoot on.
That's right.
We're gonna have some of the WPCA chuck wagon guys on the concourse doing some stuff. Yeah, gonna be fun. So come on out, grab some tickets. Use the official
tickets, you say?
The official code to save 20% on. It's everyone's favorite word. It's Cowboy.
Cowboy.
So type that in on Ticketmaster on the promo code. Type in Cowboy. You get 20% off and you can come party. Brandon Lorenzo, who's a really good singer, is going to be
Yeah.
singing on the concourse pregame, and he's the postgame party. So good
Really?
musical entertainment. And we got a good old fashioned boot race at halftime. Maybe
Really?
I
A
win
boot
some
race?
new boots. Yeah.
How do I get entered in the boot race?
Ted, do you want to be in the boot race?
Actually, I probably shouldn't because I already work for boot company, so I'm probably automatically disqualified. Sorry.
Okay. Well, we could put you in as a celebrity boot race competitor.
I think if you're gonna put anybody in as a celebrity boot race competitor to be the Calgary Stampede, princess,
royalty. Yeah. Now we're talking.
right? The Calgary Stampede princesses.
I think we should make that happen. There
I think
is
that'd be
there is rumblings that we will have an appearance from Stampede Rodeo royalty.
Right, and
So-
the First Nations princess. I think that they should have a race for boots.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm down
'Cause
with
I think
that.
they already have some Alberta boots, don't they?
Well, they
Dustin?
could maybe win some more. Or maybe any of the listeners listening want to go in, fire me a message. I will
If you
get
want to be in
on
the
the
boot
list.
race, if you need some new boots, if you want to be new boot goofing, give
Drop us
Dustin
a
a
line.
shout.
Give me a call. We'll get you on
Yeah.
the list.
Exactly.
Halftime. Be there.
Exactly.
Thanks, Ted. Thanks for promoting our Roughnecks Rodeo.
Hey, I'm looking forward to being there, Dustin. I
Yeah.
think I even have a ride home. I already have a
Oh.
ride booked home, so I'm set, man.
Ted will be in the suite hanging out, visiting
Really? I
with
get to go to the
all the
suite?
folks. You're in the suite.
Really?
Yeah.
It's gonna be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Does that mean I get to drink on your tab?
We'll chat about that off the air. First one's free.
Okay. Well, then after that, so Roughnecks Rodeo. Then we got Lethbridge PBR on the 28th and the 1st of March. That one's
Yep.
always a good time.
Always
And then
sold out.
yeah, and then Sunday night. Here's my segue, Dustin. Our guest
Okay.
on this week's show got more nominations than anybody else for the Country Music Alberta Awards Sunday night at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Damn rights.
Yeah, Mr. Devin Cooper. So
That's cool. Caught up with
it
him in
might be
Edmonton.
winter. It might be winter, but it's the Chinook is about to roll in on Thursday. So
Chinook of warmth and a Chinook of fun shit to do.
exactly. So thanks for bearing with us, folks. Dustin, thanks for joining me tonight. We're
Yeah.
both off to the gym after this. Sorry
Yeah.
to our editor, Sean Morton. It's 8 p.m. on Tuesday, and the show comes out tomorrow. We're hammering this out. But we appreciate you, folks, and enjoy the show here with Devin Cooper, and hope to see you out one of these events somewhere down the road. Thanks
You
for
betcha.
listening, as always. Make sure to give us a follow on the social medias. Check out our stuff at cowboyshit.ca. And always send us a note, give us a call, whatever. Just say hello.
Send us a letter.
Yeah, maybe a smoke signal, whatever you
There
want
go.
to do.
We'll take it.
Just give us a shout. Okay. All right,
Bye,
love you, bye,
everybody.
friends.
One day she's gonna marry me. 'Cause you know what to say about good things. They take a little longer than you might think. So if you're thinking about taking a shortcut, relying on some good luck, well, let me put your mind at ease. 'Cause you know what to say about good things.
Thanks to this guy for skipping over this morning. His signature sound is identifiable by his thoughtful songwriting and gritty rock and roll vocals. Receiving his first CCMA nomination in 2023 for the Creative Team of the Year, his debut album, Good Things, is on 22 songs worth. It's on the way. It just got released September 6th. He was nominated for 5 Country Music Alberta Awards this spring as well, but originally from Innisfail, but he'll tell you he was born in Olds, Alberta, spending time now between Calgary and Nashville. Please welcome to the show, Devin Cooper.
How you doing?
Doing great. Good
Right
morning
on.
here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for making this work, Devin. We were visiting about all the different circles in Canadian country music and some of the different connections, different ways, but so a quick story. So Brett Gardner and I, Brett Gardner's rodeo announcer from he's won the Canadian Pro Rodeo Announcer of the Year 13 times or something now.
Yeah.
Works all the big rodeos between Calgary Stampede, works Strathmore, all the PBR tours,
Totally.
So Brett his mom is my aunt's sister,
Okay.
so we're not actually related.
Okay.
But he and I grew up on Range Road 81, just outside of Drayton Valley.
Okay.
And guess who the third person that also grew up on that road was?
Who grew up on that road?
Maddie McKay.
Small world.
Yeah, and you and Maddie go way back too.
We do go way back.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a great pal of mine. I've been friends with him and looking up to him for a long time. It's a
Yeah.
small world.
Really, really wild. But it's kind of funny because Maddie would be at different shows that we'll be at, and I remember being at rodeo dances back when Maddie played with Gord, with
Way back
Bamford.
in the day.
Way back, right? So, anyway, sorry, sidebar, but But Devin, let's talk about this first week here. So CCMA week, this is a fun time to get together with everybody, right?
It is a fun time. It's basically like a big family reunion. It feels like
Yeah.
it's like we're traveling around, play the festivals all summer, get to see people, but it's usually just like ships passing in the night. You get to see people quick, and then you're on to the next thing. And
There's
then
no dinners.
This is kind of like the follow up to it all, and you actually get to hang out, catch up.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
So talk about last year getting the nomination for the Creative Team of the Year, and just kind of what that would mean for your career at the time before releasing this like huge debut album this year. Like 22 tracks is kind of ridiculous right now, is it not?
It's a little
Everybody's
ridiculous.
doing EPs where they're like 3 songs or they're releasing one single and you just boom, huge.
It's a little
22
ridiculous.
tracks.
The nomination last year was really, really cool. There's a lot of people here that I've been looking up to for a really long time, and to be acknowledged by the people I've been looking up to and acknowledged by the mentors and by my fans and everybody who was able to vote on the Creative Team of the Year award. It was really special. It was cool to be able to be out here and celebrate it and just be a part of the whole thing and kind of get that little head nod.
So I got to go back a little ways, though. You just mentioned the radio contest in Olds, and the year was 2014. You were only 17 years old, but that was kind of a bit of a Kickstarter, I want to say, and got you involved with a lot of the people that you're still friends with today.
Absolutely. I was actually 17. I snuck into the bar. It was the day before my 18th birthday, so I snuck into the bar and played at the contest.
I turned 18 at midnight.
Yeah, literally. And after I played, they had to kick me out because they found out I was 17, and then I had to wait outside until they announced the winner.
Oh, wow. Okay, what's the bar in Olds?
The bar was Trax Pub.
That's not like, okay, I don't know what that one is. It's not like the old, like, it used to be Hay City back in the day?
No, that's
That's a
across the
different one?
tracks.
Oh,
this is on the
different-
other side of the
different
tracks.
side of the tracks.
Different side of the
Okay,
tracks.
Okay.
So we were at Trax Pub, and I ended up winning. It was the Rock 104 Star Search that they have for the rock station.
That's the Olds Rock Station?
Olds Rock Station.
Yeah, which is, like, pretty big in the area.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's what
Yeah.
everyone listens to in the area.
Yeah.
And
like up here it's CFCW, but down there
100%.
it's, yeah.
And so they actually paid for studio time for me to go to Calgary and record a song, and they brought in the musicians.
That wasn't like Maddie's studio, was
It wasn't Maddie's studio. It was at a place called Evergreen Studios,
Okay.
which is Mark Troyer, phenomenal engineer, phenomenal studio that he's got. And he brought in the band to back up what we were doing. And the band that he brought in was a bass player and a drummer because I played the guitar.
Yeah.
And so he brought in Justin Cutting and Ben Bradley. And I didn't know these guys at all. I was 18 at this point now. And it was the first time I'd kind of been in the studio with other musicians that I didn't really know. I'd done a few recording projects before with kind of some guys I knew and stuff like that, but never just having like 2 random guys come in and record the song and then take off. And we got chatting and hit it off and had a really great hang. They did a great job on the song. And then there was the next part of the competition where they put my song up against another band's song, and whoever won the most amount of votes got to open for Lou Graham of Foreigner at the Rock 104 birthday bash.
No way. What a way to get going.
So then I ended up winning the next part of the contest, and then I had to put together a band to play the show. And I was like, well, the only
smokes.
musicians I know are these guys that I just played in the studio with. And so I call up Justin, I call up Ben. I was like, hey, I just won this next part. Are you guys around? Like, we can play the show. And so they were like, yeah, absolutely. So they came out, and then I also hired a keyboard player from Red Deer.
Yeah.
And that was my first full band show. And
No
now
way.
here we are,
So-
9 years later, I guess. I'm still playing with Justin.
Yeah.
Still hanging out with Ben. And
And probably using his in-ears.
Absolutely. Have been for a long time.
I got the 003 a serial number on the Universals.
Okay. They're good. The Universals
They're so
are phenomenal. I have the customs they made me in 2018 or 2019 when they
Oh,
were
wow.
doing all the custom stuff.
Yeah.
And when I got the Universals, after, because your ears change over time, like after
Yeah.
5 years of the customs, I thought they were still great.
Yeah.
And then I put the Universals in, and it was just completely mind blown
I can't
at how
believe
good they
nice
were.
they are.
It's insane.
Like Brett uses them too. Like Simon
Yeah.
made him some with like some mics in so he can hear
Yeah.
the announcer stand. Like it's funny how similar a lot of this stuff is. But like
Totally.
But the Universals, like I bought the Universals and then he tried them. Like he used them this year at Calgary because he stepped on one somewhere and broke one.
Oh.
So I had to lend him mine. He's like, man, these work even better than my old custom ones.
Totally. And that's the
Kinda
thing
crazy.
is because of the Universals, like if you break one on the road and like someone has a
You're
spare
good.
set, you're still good. You're not going to have any drop in quality or change or anything because
Yeah.
they're literally universal to everybody. And with all the different size tips that they come with, like,
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
customize them.
Shout out to Plunge Audio.
Yeah, sponsor. This is not a sponsored post. Okay, but go back to that show because we talked about the competition in 2014, and you win that. And was that like a couple of weeks later, or what was the?
Yeah,
sorry,
it was.
tell me the timeline.
It was about I guess we recorded the song in. I won the contest in October of 2014, and then it would have been the summer of 2015 that we did the show.
Okay, I see.
And so there was about 8-month time period where we recorded the song and then had the next part of the contest and then ended up playing the show.
Right on. That's awesome. And then so how'd the show go? Like how you said it was somebody from Foreigner?
Lou Graham, the singer of Foreigner.
From Foreigner?
Yeah.
No way.
It was pretty wild.
Who was did Justin and the guys and Ben, did they play for him?
No, they were just playing for me. So we just
really?
did our quick 20-minute set and
way.
then hung around and got to listen to a bunch of hits.
Oh, that's crazy. So it wasn't the full band that came with them?
No, so it was
it?
just him. I think they parted ways years and years ago, so he's doing his own thing now.
Okay, I
And
see. That's wild. That's fun.
But yeah,
So-
that was the first full band show and
No
was
way.
with those guys. And now here we are, like 9 years later. We're still all working together, playing together,
Yeah.
hanging out together.
Oh, wow. So tell me, I'm sorry that I don't know this, but like tell me how many people that those guys play for now. Like is there very many people that they would play for? Are they just in your band or like I don't know how
Totally.
it all works.
A lot of musicians kind of jump between bands and have a few different acts on the go kind of thing. So
Based
Justin,
on scheduling probably.
based on scheduling for sure. So
Yeah.
Justin has been with Brett Kissel since 2015, I believe,
Okay.
playing bass for him.
Okay.
And he's also his musical director as well.
Okay, I
And
see.
same with myself. He's since 2015 we've been playing together, and he's
Yeah.
the band leader, musical director, and one of my producers as well. And then he also plays for Dean Brody now,
Yeah.
and so he's on the road with Dean, and then does a lot of like kind of one-off stuff if like somebody calls and needs something kind
Yeah.
of thing. But between Plunge Audio, being a dad and playing
Yeah.
for Dean Brody and Brett Kissel and myself
that's
and
a
all his
lot.
production stuff, his plate's pretty full.
That's a ton. Dang. Okay, I want to go back. I just got to go back a little bit further to the initial interest in music. Where did it start for you?
There's always music playing in my house when I was growing up. My
Yeah.
parents didn't really play. We had a piano, and my mom and dad can both like play piano a bit, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's not like we were having family jams at Christmas or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so music was always being played. There's always music in my dad's shop. He builds custom cars and motorcycles, and he always had
cool.
tunes playing. And in
Is that where the rock and roll influence comes from?
well, that's where like the Southern rock and blues influence comes from, is him. And then my mom is a big like hard rock and hair metal fan.
Oh, no
So
way.
in the house we had like Judas Priest and Motley Crue and all that cranked. And then
and we're like the Headpins, a Canadian
oh yeah,
rock band.
Yeah.
Who was the lady that was a singer?
Darby Mills.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. My uncle used to tour like he was a roadie for them. I think.
Oh, really?
He drives big trucks with the lighting company.
Okay.
Yeah. Random. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Headpins are unreal. I saw
Yeah.
they didn't play a show for like 20 years. They were done, and Darby Mills, they weren't really doing anything. And I remember they came back and played in Red Deer,
Yeah.
maybe like, would have been like 15 years ago now.
Yeah.
And she is just an unbelievable singer.
Yeah. That's wild.
But yeah, there was,
Sorry.
no, that's okay. There's, yeah, like hard rock playing in the house and then like Southern rock and blues in the shop.
Oh wow.
But I get like growing up in Innisfail, you're surrounded by like all this country stuff, all this country shit.
Yeah.
You're,
yeah, exactly.
all this cowboy shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so you're like spending time at rodeos and river parties and barn parties and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And
and
country music's always being blasted.
yeah.
And
So you get a bit of a passion for that too.
So that's kind of where like the storytelling aspect of it came, because I always loved like the production of the rock music, but I didn't necessarily love, we'll say, the abstract lyrics of it. And as soon as I got into songwriting, I kind of realized that what I wanted to write was some sort of story that took you on an emotional journey of some sort, whether that was like to have a good time or to cry or whatever it was. And when I really dove into songwriting, I realized that country music is where they spend the most time and dedication on the craft of songwriting and really being able to tell a story. So I kind of pulled all those things together, and I guess that's where I ended up, is trying to tell a story with rock production behind it.
So
I got a little off topic because you asked
asked
how
like
I
three
got into
questions.
music.
So, well, but now that you have mentioned the songwriting part of it, to release this debut album with 22 tracks, I think that's totally wild. But I was listening on the way up yesterday, and The Other Guy. I was listening to The Other Guy, and I was like, geez, this is quite the cheeky song. To talk about I could be the other guy?
Yeah.
Tell me the line. Because I just remember the part about I could be the other guy. I was like, whoa, that's spicy lyrics.
Just
right?
between you and I could be the other guy.
Sorry, I'm choking up my coffee here now, but where does this one come from? Like, how does a song like that happen? I thought it was hilarious and awesome.
May or may not be based on a true story.
Can't confirm or deny.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, unless you're a songwriter and then you write a song about
you write
it.
a song about it? Oh dear, that's a wild one. Oh man.
We'll leave that at that.
Okay, fair. But I was impressed by the catchiness to it. Like I hope that these all go really well for you. Like I hope the debut goes great. Like it's only been out for what's today? Today's only the 13th. It's been out a week.
1 week.
1 week today. How's it been so far?
It's been great.
Yeah.
A lot of people sharing it, selling a ton of vinyl, getting lots of streams,
Yeah.
lots of comments. People are sending me messages, and it's really cool to see it just expanding and growing, and being able to reach kind of a new demographic of people with every little release that comes out, and kind of expand it, and build the fans one person at a time, and eventually we'll have an army.
One lyric at a time.
One lyric at a time.
So, tell me what some of your favorites from the new record here, and just talk us through a little bit. Tell us
There's basically the whole record is kind of all of my life lessons, the ups and downs, the good and the bad, everything in between that I've kind of learned to my life at this point, and they're all pretty personal stories to me of everything in it, of how the songs were brought to life, and of the new tracks on this one, because some of the tracks have been kind of coming out over the last year kind of thing as singles. Of the new tracks, one of the one that really stands out to me that I love is a song called Dying to Be Seen. It's the last one on the record, and I wrote it back in like 2018. I was we'll back up before I'll tell you where I was. Like I said, I grew up in a custom motorcycle shop, and obviously
This is your dad's spot.
This is my dad's custom motorcycle shop, and unfortunately with motorcycles sometimes come accidents, and people get hurt and killed, and we'd had a few friends that had unfortunately happened to, and I was sitting in a bar in Nashville, and I looked up at the wall, and there was a sticker, and it said, "Open your eyes, bikers are dying to be seen." And that hit me pretty hard, because we had a few friends that had passed away from motorcycle accidents or got in accidents and had life-altering injuries, and it made me think, like, I feel like we're kind of all just dying to be seen. There's all these things in the world that are happening. Everyone's on social media. We're all trying to get the attention of other people. We just want to be seen and heard and kind of, heard. And so I sat down with a bunch of friends and brought this idea in, and we kind of made like 3 little mini stories in this song, where it kind of starts out with like this kid trying to get the attention of his dad, but his dad's too busy working, trying to get the attention of his boss. And the next verse is a girl is in school trying to get the attention of this guy, but the guy is too busy trying to get the attention of the cool kids he wants to hang out with. And then at the end, I'll leave the last verse to everybody to go listen to, and they can hear what happens. But basically, it's just kind of that whole universal thing where we're all dying to be seen, and a lot of times it's not worth the risks that we put ourselves through to try and get seen.
So we better talk about a couple more songs that have been released here over the last bit too. Underdog came up as one that's been streamed a bit more than some of the other ones so far, maybe, but and been out for a little bit longer too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You released that one in 2022.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got to go to Vancouver to record that one. Brought the whole band out. We went out to a studio called The Warehouse, and it's owned by Brian Adams.
Oh, no way.
And he actually happened to be there while we were recording.
There?
He was there.
I was just mostly joking. But
so we're standing in the kitchen. This is a wild story. We're standing in the kitchen, and I hear guitars being played upstairs, because it's a 3-level studio.
No way.
And I asked Nicole from Sirius XM, I was like, is someone else recording upstairs? And she was like, oh, that's just Brian playing guitar. And I was like, oh, just Brian playing guitar.
Did Brian, like the Brian?
Yeah. And so we finished the session, and we're standing in the kitchen, and all of a sudden I hear footsteps and come walking down the stairs. There's like a shining light around him as he comes down the stairs.
What music was
like the
playing
halo.
at that point?
And he like walks down the stairs. He's like, hey, how's it going? I'm Brian. And I was like, yeah, no kidding. And he's like, has your day been good? Like, has everyone treated you well? You having a good time? Like, yeah, it's been awesome. He's like, are you guys going to be here for a little bit? and we had just finished and we're on our way out. And I was just
Did you have to catch a plane or something?
we didn't, luckily. We had a dinner reservation, but I was like, oh yeah, we'll be here for a bit. And like kind of like looked at Nicole from Sirius XM, and she was like, it's fine, like you can stay. And he was like, well, I'm going to run across the street and grab a coffee, and when I come back, I'd love to give you a tour of the place. Okay.
Yes, sir, Brian. We'll be here.
So he comes back like 5 minutes later with a coffee, and he's like, hey, come with me, let's go upstairs. So
No way.
takes us upstairs into his private studio, showing us around all the things that he's working on. And then
No way.
we're kind of standing there talking, and he looks at me and goes like, you play guitar, right? I was like, yeah. And he picks up this old guitar and hands it to me. And I was like looking at it, and it was a like perfectly beat up, worn, aged, like 50s Martin acoustic. And it was a 1955 Martin D18. And I'm holding it and looking at it, and I kind of strum it, and it sounds unbelievable. And he goes, do you know whose guitar that was? I was like, no, whose was it? He's like, that was Johnny Cash's. And I was
Holy
like,
shit.
what? Just like full body goosebumps. Like I'm sitting here
Oh,
holding
I just got goosebumps.
holding
shit.
Johnny Cash's guitar. We're in Brian Adams' studio. I have my whole band, my whole production team with me,
shit.
and we like get to share this moment together.
That is so cool.
And after that, the band went downstairs, and then he sat with me for about 20 minutes just by myself, just talked to me about everything I was doing, and asked a bunch of questions, and gave me some advice on things that he would have done a little bit differently.
Wow.
And it was actually funny because we were there recording Underdog, which is a song that I'd written when I was kind of feeling beat down and kind of wanted to write something that would like pick me back up and keep going, and
Motivator.
a motivator. And then we're standing there in this room, and you'd think that talking to Brian Adams, like they always say never meet your heroes, right? Because you'll be disappointed. But Brian
not
Adams,
disappointed in
Brian
this.
Adams was the nicest, kindest, most down-to-earth person I've ever met in my entire life.
Wow.
You're sitting there talking to him, and he just like locks in, like never wavers, never moves, never anything.
Yeah.
And he like picked me right back up out of that slump, and was like the most encouraging person ever.
way.
And so,
That's so cool.
my whole thing now is like, hopefully the song Underdog can do for you what Brian Adams did for me that day.
Oh, yeah. That's so cool. Okay, I got to just jump in here, too. I had to look up exactly the details on the Martin D18. But I'm seeing, like, the cheapest one I can find is, like, $8,000. So it's not a cheap guitar
It's
to
not a
start
cheap
with.
guitar, no.
Holy smokes. And I can't imagine, like, there's some here that are listed for, like, $25,000, $29,000 in good shape. This one's
Yeah.
from 1946. It's a $30,000 guitar. That's crazy.
And that's probably U.S.
Yeah, well, this one says Canadian.
Oh,
but, like,
okay.
but still, like, holy smokes. It's
Yeah,
that's really
outrageous. And it was just sitting in a studio on the
No
rack with
way.
all his other ones.
Did he have any story about like how he got it from Johnny
Yeah,
Cash?
so I think the guitar
That's
actually came
wild.
from the guitar player from Blue Rodeo, Colin Cripps.
Oh, really?
I did some research online. I actually found a picture of it online as well. And
That's
Colin,
so neat.
I don't know him, but he's got a massive guitar collection. And I guess years ago, Brian ended up getting it out of him and bought it off him, so because he
That's
really
so
wanted
cool.
to have it.
That's so cool. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go next? Like,
Yeah, we can talk about the
dealer's choice.
we can talk about the shows and the record, because the record is actually divided in two parts. It's 11
Yeah.
fully produced, 11 live acoustic.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I saw that a little bit ago.
And so for the live acoustic portion, what we actually did is in December, we went out to OCL Studios in just outside of Calgary, where we record
Chestermere,
everything.
right?
Yeah, Chestermere.
Yeah.
And they have a beautiful live room that's just massive where we track everything.
Yeah.
So what we did is we actually set up at the front of the room and then put 40 chairs in the room. And we had 40 of my biggest like fans and supporters come out.
Oh,
And we
cool.
recorded the live portion of the record live in the room with them watching.
Oh, cool.
Everyone had their own set of headphones. They could hear the producers talking back and forth from the control room, kind of like critiquing our takes, what to do,
Oh, wow.
how to change it. And so we did 2 takes of each song. And we filmed the whole thing, and all those videos are going to be coming out over the next while. But it was really cool to have everyone there to get to see kind of behind the scenes process of how these songs come to life, and they got to hear them before they were recorded, basically, like as they were being recorded and as the tweaks were being made in the studio.
Really?
Everyone got to be a part of that.
That's super neat.
So that was a really fun thing, and I've always been a big fan of acoustic songs and hearing acoustic versions of produced songs and how people kind of like reinvent the songs to do them a little bit differently. And so this was something I really wanted to do, and it was cool to be able to involve all of these
your
fans.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like I got looking at the names of, is this, tell me the crew that's on here, like you've written all these songs, but then you've got like Ali in here on it, Drew Gregory on another one, Justin's on Dying to Be Seen as well. This is everybody that wrote the song.
Yeah,
So the
absolutely.
writing
So those are
credits,
all the co-writers that I wrote them with.
Yeah. I see. And then, did anybody like Justin performs with you, but like would Drew help you with Back Pocket or anything, or how would that work?
We thought about
thought about
having
it?
like him on the record or whatever, but we didn't do that. So we might have to do an alternate version later or something.
Well, there might
like
be a
that.
time where you guys are playing a show together and you play it
Totally.
together.
We
I don't know.
have played it together live a couple
Yeah.
times actually, and it's a
Okay.
lot of fun. So
I bet.
if the writer's in the room when I'm playing a song, either like
like that.
give him a shout out or bring him up on stage to sing harms or something like that.
Oh, that's fun. So tell me what some of your other favorites from the record though, or something that is maybe like a deeper cut that you like really want everybody to know about that might not have the radio airplay, but it's like, oh, I just love this song. Like Country Cliche, I think is funny. Like the lyrics are
Oh, it's hilarious.
Like there's not one line there that's not a country cliche. Like you have them all.
Yeah. It's funny. I actually wrote it with like 2 people from the city as well, which is hilarious because I was the only like small town kid that was
really?
in the room.
Oh, wow.
So it was Spencer Cheen, who's one of my other producers.
Yeah.
Justin and Spencer co-produce, and Brad Saunders, and we were just like sitting around one night,
Probably drinking.
like just having a beer,
Yeah.
hanging out, and Brad just like started to play his guitar, and he just was like, "Take a sip," and then I like looked at him, I was like, "Pack a dip," and then that's literally how the song started, and then 45 minutes later we had Country Cliche,
Oh, no way.
and it's fun because it's like that's all the stuff we did growing up,
Oh, yeah.
and as much as it is like
Innisfail.
serious, it's also like it's hilarious that that's actually just what we do. Like it's kind of, as much as it's serious, it's hilarious as well.
Yeah. So for the first line, take a sip, pack a dip, round up your buds, ain't looking for love. Like every single line is a cliche.
Yeah. And then
single
next
one.
one's like, now we're just out for a rip, which is like
Oh,
just
for a
out
rip.
for a rip. Yeah, exactly.
So for rip, are you bud?
And then in the chorus, there's the one line that's like, because we're parked out by the lake. Have you ever heard that song? Like parked out by the lake?
Oh, I don't know that one right now.
I got to send it to you. It's hilarious. It's
Oh, really?
just a guy saying that he's parked out by the lake like 47 different ways. And it was like going around Nashville at the time. Everyone was sending it to people.
Oh, really?
Making fun of like the cliche country songs that everyone does. We're like, we
Yeah.
have to put that line in there.
Oh, man. Tailgate and hell raising certified country cliche. Yeah.
Just ridiculous. It's so fun to play live though.
I bet. Especially would that be, so in a live show, would that be like first couple songs just to like get things going, or do you have
Yeah.
to like get some rapport with the audience for like, okay, I got this funny song?
No, it's usually song 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's right in the
Yeah.
in the beginning.
It's so much fun. And it's like, also every room is a little bit different, but like,
Yeah.
I have a ton of fun playing that song, and I'm always going to be able to like settle, because that's one of the things, like at the start of a
Yeah,
show,
true.
sometimes you're like a little high energy and you're like trying to get settled, get down. And when we play that song, I can like come out of that and like fly through the rest of the show then.
Oh,
It's like
cool.
it's a good grounding piece.
So you have a lot of your own stuff, but we talked to like Haley Benedict a couple shows ago.
Yeah.
And I've noticed on some of the stuff with her where she's playing a acoustic guitar, and then she goes and she's playing an electric guitar. And I don't know enough about your side of things yet, but
Yeah.
is that true for you too, or there's a couple different pieces on stage?
Yeah, so I play, for the full band show, I play all electric guitar, and I
Yeah.
play all the lead guitar, all the solos, everything like that.
You got to have the electric though for the rock and roll.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
And then for like the stripped down acoustic stuff, obviously I play my acoustic kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah,
But
for
in
sure.
the full band show, I
Mostly electric.
almost never bust out the acoustic.
Only electric.
Only electric.
So then, quick question on the live show: what are some of your favorite covers to play? Because there's likely a couple of those in the live show at this point.
There is, yeah. We put a new cover in this summer that's been a lot of fun. Can't Get Enough of Your Love by Bad Company,
Oh, really?
and it
That'd be fun.
has a really cool like double guitar solo where we like play it together.
Yeah.
Myself and Brennan Wall, who's also in the band.
Oh, that's fun.
And so that's been a lot of fun. And then we also have like a hair metal medley that we put together that kind of is like a nod to all the stuff I listened to growing up, like in
Yeah.
the house.
Oh, wow.
So it opens with like Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue, and then goes into Pour Some Sugar on Me,
Yeah. Oh man.
and then goes into The Final Countdown, and then into Another One Bites the Dust, and then finishes with Rock and Roll All Night and Party Every Day.
Oh wow. Man, that's a lot of fun.
So that kind of stuff is fun to play live.
Oh yeah. Well, Kane. So we never got to the question about some of the songs on the record that might not be the radio hits, but that you want people to hear?
Totally. I think the biggest one on that is the one we touched on, Dying to Be Seen. That's kind of one of my favorites. But I have a cool story about kind of the newest single, Leave It to Chance. It's going to be the next radio single. And how the song came to life is super random. We went to a music festival in California. Me and Mariah and my best friend and his girlfriend drove to California, straight there, one shot, 27 hours.
What show was it?
It was called Power Trip.
Where was it?
And it was at the Indio Polo Grounds where like Coachella and Stagecoach and all that stuff is. And so it was 3 days or 4 days, I guess, 3 nights at the concert. And it was AC/DC, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, and Tool.
No way.
And so we like camped in the desert at the Polo Grounds.
What time of the year was this?
This is in October, but it was like
still hot,
40 above every
still
day.
Super hot, yeah.
And
still super sweaty in the tents.
100%. We actually didn't even put up a tent. We just put up one of those like 10 by 10 canopies over top and then just set our air mattresses on the ground and just slept outside because it was too hot. But we're in the campground with everybody there and we get chatting with our one neighbor. His name was Doug. And he was from Salt Lake City. Yeah. And we get chatting with him and learn a bunch about him and all this kind of stuff. And then at the end of the festival, one of the other guys that was beside us had said, "Hey, Doug, I think we should keep in touch. We'll see you around," or something like that. And we all live in different parts of North America, so it's not like we're just going to like run into each other downtown or something. And Doug was like, the guy said, "Let's make sure we keep in touch." And Doug said, "Well, let's not leave it to chance." And I was like, that's a great idea. Like, that's a great hook. And the song went in a different direction than what the context originally started as. But it was because everyone says like, oh, like, yeah, we'll get together, we'll catch up. And it never happens.
Yeah.
And then so we get chatting with Doug and turns out he lives in Salt Lake City. And he asked us where we were staying and what way we were driving back.
Going through Salt Lake City,
We're going through Salt Lake. He's like, well, you have to stop for dinner. You have to meet my wife. You have to come to the house. So we ended up stopping at his house in Salt Lake City.
No way.
Ended up staying the night. They made us breakfast, had a great time. And then this summer, he actually brought his mom up to the Calgary Stampede, Doug did. So Doug's 60 and his mom's in his 80s. Brought his mom up to the Calgary Stampede, and they came and watched the shows and went to the rodeo. And
oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Could you tell me Stampede for you is Nashville North and maybe the Coke Stage?
Yeah, I haven't done the Coke Stage, but Nashville North. Yeah, absolutely. Ranchman's.
Yeah.
And Nashville North is kind of the big one for me.
Yeah, yeah.
It's absolute blast.
So much fun,
it's
right?
outrageous. It's big stage, big crowd.
Especially with the rock and roll medleys, probably hits right on a Saturday night.
It's a blast.
Even a Tuesday at Calgary.
Yeah, no kidding.
I've got another random question that you can take or to leave it. But like random wild stuff that's happened at shows, because there's probably been some funny shit that's gone down at Nashville North. Just imagining what that place smells like on a Tuesday afternoon sometimes.
There is some wild stuff. I'm trying to think of an appropriate story to share.
Well, it is called Cowboy shit, so we can get away with a little bit more. But up to you. We can also just talk about some of the favorite spots, favorite memories on the road so far. Like
one of my favorite spots is Beau's. Like I've said that time and time again. Every time people ask, it's like Beau's Barn Stage in Red Deer is one of the best venues I've ever played in my life.
Bit of a hidden gem, I want to say.
Totally, and they treat the band so well. Like the green room and all of the food that they make for you and the spread they put together, and everyone there is phenomenal.
Nice to get to work with a guy like Ryan too.
Absolutely.
Honestly, like one of the better guy, but good guy in the industry. Is their house guy.
Totally.
Right.
That's an absolute blast. Another really cool venue is Blues at the Bow in Bow Island.
Really?
And it's an old theater that has like a drop-down dance floor on it, kind of like had like in the early 1900s.
That's cool.
And I played there back in 2019. I was just opening, and it's like 250 people. It's jammed. You're in Bow Island. There's like
it's middle of nowhere.
Literally middle of nowhere. People are driving from Medicine Hat and Lethbridge and everywhere around to come to the show.
Yeah.
And it was just slam-packed, completely jammed, and I did it like a 20-minute acoustic set, and the crowd was phenomenal. They're all there, like really big listeners, but also really big partiers.
Oh, wow.
Got like a standing ovation at the end of the set, had to come back out. I did an encore as the opener, which was wild.
Unheard of.
And the crowd there and everyone there, the hospitality is amazing, and it's just really cool to see like this massive shaker happening in the literally middle of nowhere.
Oh, yeah. Geez, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That sounds like, I remember Corb telling me about a show like that he used to do in like Cadillac, Saskatchewan or something random
Probably.
like that. Yeah, it's the middle of nowhere. It's a bunch of like folks that are farmers out there, and they get together for their yearly roundup.
Totally.
Which is what every rodeo anywhere is essentially too. So
I suppose Bow Island might be more on the map now because that's where Nolene Hoffman's from.
How cool
so
is
it's
that?
maybe Blues with the Bow and the whole venue there is going to be even more well known now because now that she's coming out of there.
She's done some great work this year. Hey,
it's been phenomenal to watch.
Pretty neat to watch. Okay, Devin, there's one thing that I ask everybody that's on the show that we ask. Dustin's not here today. He's on his way up right now. Actually, you guys are going to see each other on the highway.
Yeah.
But we ask everybody on the show what their definition of cowboy shit is.
I feel like cowboy shit was my life growing up. Growing up in a small town. Again, I'm not like a cowboy rodeo kid, but like spending time going to the rodeos, going to the farm parties, hanging out at people's farms. It's just cowboy shit is having too much fun.
I like it. Well, Devin Cooper, your new record, Good Things, the deluxe edition. There's 22. It's a 22-song double album available everywhere. Devin, thanks a lot for doing this today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great chatting.
Yeah, thanks for the visit. All right, check them out, devincoopermusic.com. You can get yourself some merchandise, buy some music, buy some vinyl. Are they actually gold?
They are.
They actually are gold record. Oh, wow, that's cool. Big fan. Anyways, check them out, Devin Cooper, devincoopermusic.com.
Take a sip, pack a dip. Round up your buds, ain't looking for love. Now we're just out for a rip. We'll take a toke, holy smoke. Tipping back suds, catching a buzz. Do it till we all go broke. It's gonna be a bona fide. It's gonna be an all night. It's gonna be a redneck and two-step, and you can reckon we'll be getting gone with the moonshine. Don't need no highways, cause we're parked out by the lake. Cause we're blue collar beer, drinking tailgating, hair raising certified country cliches.